Carole Radziwill. And Scott, who we all know, the ex-fiance who completely led her on. Scott just didn't seem like at all her type. I don't know. Sorry. I just didn't find Scott hot in any way. So this guy, I say that to say, look, I feel like this guy seems better suited for her. He looks like you know what I mean? He looks like one of those country club guys. You know what I mean?
Scott, listen, I'm not a fan of Scott. You love the Radzi. She was on my show for 3 episodes. I feel about Radzi kind of how you feel about Bethany. It's honestly a mixed bag with me for Radzi. Well, look, it's kind of like, what have you done for me lately? She came on for 3 hours, a 3-part episode, and bared her soul. And for that, I will eternally have a space in my heart for Carole Radziwill. I then had breakfast with her with my good friend Gregory Zarian. He's an actor. He lives in LA. I post pictures of him all the time. He has a twin. Gregory's a big deal. He was on Revenge. He's now on The Wonder Years. Very good friend of mine. We had breakfast, me and him and Carole Radziwill, at a diner right near Barney's when it was open. So I had moments with Carole, but what have you done for me lately? And she ain't coming. She hasn't been back on the podcast. I think she'll never be. I think after 3 hours, she was like, girl, you got everything from me. That's how they feel. They feel like we already did this and we bared our soul. It really covered everything, but it's been 2 years. So I got mixed feelings with Radzi when she doesn't, it's not like I've asked her, but
I adore Radzi was such a class act. I mean, she was just, she was everything. I loved Radzi.
You loved Radzi. Well, I mean, look, I think this is going to be a good guy she never said she was engaged, but Tinsley just
wearing a giant rock in one of them.
Oh.
Yeah, she had an engagement ring on in one of the pics. These seem to be on social media. Like somebody snagged these, I think from Tinsley's Instagram. And somebody caught a ring. Anyway, she looks absolutely stunning. She was on this family vacation.
Well, listen, she really wants to be married, right? That's what Tinsley wants out of life. I think Dale wants that.
Baby.
Did I ever tell you my funny Dale story? Did I ever tell you the story about Dale? Did I tell it on here?
Oh my God, tell me. I love Dale too. I was obsessed with Dale. All the women loved Dale. Dale was like epic.
All the women loved Dale. So, I mean, when that season, when Dorinda went a little wild on the tins and ended up, getting her paws, Dale and I started speaking because who Dale, this is a real tea, guys. This is a little funny story. Look how excited Sarah is. So I had Mr. Maroulis. I'm friends with Constantine Maroulis. Constantine has been on my podcast
I almost
many
had sex
times.
with Constantine. Oh my God. I almost hooked up with Constantine as well. He denies it to this day, but he's been on my podcast too. And I said to him, do you remember the time that you came to Hot 99.5, the Kane show, right after you were on the American Idol season? You were getting in the elevator. You wanted my phone number. You'd said like, maybe we could hook up later. My coworker cock-blocked you because I had a boyfriend. And if only I had just pushed my coworker down, I too could have been with Constantine.
Constantine is not, like on Patreon recently, I talked about wanting to sleep with Evan Goldschneider, and I also want to sleep with Dante, who is the husband of this woman named Tiffany, who is one of the new quote unquote 3 girls they're trying out in Jersey. I'd like to sleep with Dante. I don't know. I'm going to pass on Constantine. It's pass for me. Again, a lot of people pass on me, so I'm not above being passed on. I'm going to pass on Constantine, but lovely gentleman. But he came on my show and then he got all this press because he talks about sleeping with, Ramona and Luann and all blah, blah, blah. And he dated Tinsley. There was a reality show on the CW called High Society that he was on. He dated Tinsley. So he's still close to Tinsley and Dale. So when all this press was coming out from Constantine being on my show, Dale was commenting. And I was like, oh, I love Constantine. So I don't know how, but somehow Dale and I started texting. I don't know how I ended up getting her number. God only knows, David, but we started texting. And then she was going to come on this podcast. This was all when Dorinda was spiraling out of control. And she wanted to wait to the end of the season. But then at the end of the season, she's like, listen, She's like, I spoke to the Tins, and the Tin says the way the reunion is edited. See, I can be trusted when it's happening. I don't spill, she's like, the way the reunion is going to work out is that Tinsley looks good. And it's a final, like, after being treated like this, Tinsley's going to come out smelling really good from the reunion. Dorinda, not so much. And anything I say on your podcast is probably going to now open up some doors that are closed. And I said, listen, Dale, you are a more seasoned woman. She's a senior. I cannot be disrespectful to my seniors. I said, everything you are saying, Dale, is 100% true. If you step behind the velvet rope, and my questions will open so many wounds, and there will be so many headlines. I don't know what they will be yet because I haven't come up with the questions, but your name will be in lights. And I mean, it will be not so pleasant, I assume, about Dorinda. You will be coming for Dorinda, and whatever is closed at the reunion, yes, will be ripped wide open from 1 hour on Behind the Velvet Rope. So you know what? Every now and then I have a moment of ethics, Sarah. I'm like, we'll pass.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I never say that. I felt a moment with Dale. So there you go. That's my Dale story.
Well, I love it. I'm a Tins fan as well. I hope she finds absolute love and happiness with this guy. He obviously looks like a divorcee with 3 kids. The kids look cute. They look from ages like 10 and down, maybe to like 5. Looks like 2 girls and a little boy. So, I mean, wishing her all the best. She's got those frozen embryos, I think, on ice she's been waiting to use. I mean, Tins has got to be 46 at this point.
I think that's the exact age that she is. You know what it is?
She's got to use those, girl.
You are the expert on this.
Well, see, she's smart, right? Because she froze her eggs years ago. So see, she's got that's like the best insurance policy. She could have that child when she's 50. Like, as long as her uterus is good. I mean, oh my God, I could tell you all about it. But yeah, she could use those embryos anytime.
Wow.
But you want to carry it, as young as possible if you can. She's 48. Okay, girl, we need to get them fertilized ASAP.
And do we know if she really, I can respect somebody who, I mean, she presumably was in the mix for Girls Trip, Legacy Vacation, RHONJ Vacation, whatever you want to call it. I mean, she's really the one that's not interested in Housewives. And I love when that is the case. I love when someone like a Joyce Gerard, who has been on the show from Beverly Hills, truly says, I'm not interested in going back, and really means it. Like, I do believe Radzi. When Radzi says, I don't want to go back, she means it. Now, we all know Bethany says it, and we all know she don't mean it. She just wants a big payday. So when you say it and you mean it, I love that. So that's what I love, Tinsley. Look, is it throwing the women's movement back? I mean, 20, 30, 40 years where your goal in life is just to get married to a man and be by his side? No?
No, these movements are just about the freedom to do what you want. That's what it should be about. Once the movement becomes all women should do this and that you can't, then the movement has gone too far. It should just be an option, which women completely have now. More and more women are completely the breadwinners of their homes. The work that our mothers and grandmothers and the women before them did has worked. Now, I mean, women are running the show more than ever, but part of that is also, you don't have to choose that. You can choose to be a stay-at-home mom and cook and make bread and have 5 kids. And yeah, good for you if you want to be that. Terrific. Because I got news for you, and you know this too, Miss Yontef. Being a career gal ain't all that it's cracked up to be.
Well,